right. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the unofficial Harmonyville podcast. This is Ragweed Rasta coming at you. Got a special guest today. We got Bourbin, one of the main dudes from Harmonyville in the house. How's it going today, Burb?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, no problem at all. No problem at all. We're just going to shoot the shit about Harmonyville today and kind of get some information out there for the people that might not have been there since the beginning and get some new fresh blood in here.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Sweet. So, Marketplace just dropped.
Yes, it did.
Super sleek user interface. I really enjoy it. Even on mobile, which I find sometimes is a big issue, but it's so easy to navigate.
We try to bring the heat, man.
Yeah, you guys did, and even with the little things that's come up, you got like right on top of it. I know Little Shark likes to rest in the hammock, but he's doing a good job, even if it's from his hammock.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. We have 54 listings. It looks like there's been, 5 transactions, and there's 5 auctions up. So we got some new UI that he's posted coming in the updates announcement section. So for anybody listening, if you're curious to what will be changed, modified for the UI, you can go ahead and take a look at that. But obviously, some pretty obvious things like being able to see the value in one when you list as HFIL. So that's important to us. Knowing if on the auction side, knowing if you are the highest bidder, if there has been any bids, and how much time is left on the specific auction. So those are just some of the real small UIs that will just make it a better experience.
Yeah, for sure. And those are just minor touch-ups for sure. But all in all, I think it's been a pretty smooth launch. You guys work really well as a team. And touch on the team issue. How did you guys all meet up and start doing your thing together?
Yeah, so we met. It was I think it was probably about 2 years ago, and it was when Harmony was still. If you Google search Harmony 1, you would get search results for Universal Remote. And if you go into servers, particularly like Reddit, you would basically just get laughed at. So from a standpoint of the growth of Harmony over the last 2 years, it's been pretty big. I think a lot of people that may be coming late, or maybe somebody who's not kind of looking from the outside in and just kind of analyzing the growth pattern, you might have a different outlook. But obviously there are things that every single person can do better, every group can do better. But it'll take shape. So anyways, getting back to that question, was we met in the original Harmony server, and that was when it was still filling out. I don't even know if there was more than 5,000 members. Maybe it was even less than that. I'm not sure they're at now. But you could you could talk price. I mean, they were pretty cool about all this stuff. And then you had the infamous April Fool's Day prank, which was basically something big was coming. That's when all the speculation for Coinbase was about to happen, just as it always is. It just always seems to be a looming question: when Coinbase? But anyways, nothing happened, and so the price flew up, and then the price crashed hard. And then from that point on, they banned any type of even alluding to a price. You couldn't even have a discussion and mention price in it, even if you weren't talking about price. So that was kind of frustrating, and a lot of original members ended up leaving. And we decided to start the Make One server. So he needed some. He was trying to set up a node to run a validator. And so if anybody has anyone that's looking to throw a little extra one behind the project into the validator, he's got almost, I think it's almost 100% uptime, 99% or something like that, 9.5% return, and it does a really good job. So I think it's almost about 10 million in there, and I threw him some before he was even elected to try to help him get elected. And yeah, just like you said, I mean, we all kind of mesh, we all kind of work really well together. And it just, it's this space helped me find a whole bunch of people that shared my same interests, right? Because in real life, I don't have a whole lot of friends who are in the space or even know what the hell we're doing. And so, trying to find that outlet where you can talk to people and bounce ideas off people, it just kind of falls on deaf ears because they don't understand, right? So that's really the short of it.
Oh yeah, 100% about the people not understanding. It's like you just kind of feel alone in the real world. You're like, there's nobody knows, nobody
Yeah.
understands what I understand.
I mean, I got it in
But
like there was like 2015 was my first BTC purchase, but I of course sold. It's like I had no resources to look at. I had nobody to lean on. And then get back into 2017, the same thing. It wasn't really till like late 2019 that I really started to like commit to it and look for groups. And obviously, Reddit was a good place to start, but that place is all toxic hell. So as long as you can look through all the sofa know-it-alls and find communities that are actually positive and encouraging and helpful, you can get to those next places. It was Reddit, then to Discord, and Discord into different servers, and then you just happen upon other ones when people share them and stuff. So
yeah, like 100%. That's how I found the When Lambo project. Like I heard about it during Mint, and at the time, like I was pretty heavy into DFK. I had a bunch of heroes, so I didn't have like liquid jewel to kind of move around and do anything with. So I missed the Mint, and then I was talking to my buddy in one of his Discord servers, and was basically like, "Hey, I'm looking for some other Harmony projects to get into." And so he sold me my first Lambo, just like a private transfer, and I haven't looked back. But like to speak to the community thing, like 100%, I found Harmony is one of the better blockchains in the crypto space for having meaningful interactions and everybody wanting to lift everybody up. Like you said, Reddit, I was on there like when I first started doing DeFi, and like you'd ask a question and you'd just get like shat on for hours, and then you'd have to dig through it and find like the one or two people that are being helpful. But yeah, once you get into one Discord server that is affiliated with Harmony, it's such an intertwined community that you can so easily find other people and other projects to jump on board with and invest in, and it's a great ecosystem.
yeah, people are helpful. I mean, that's really what you want. I mean, if the words you hear often or the phrase you hear often is "we're early," then why, when new people come in, are you so condescending when you're trying to explain how election works, how to stake with a delegate? Like, why is it in Ada? I remember going and trying to figure all that out for the first time, and it was very, very overwhelming. It's obviously very easy now that you know about it, but you take the knowledge and it took forever to find, then you bring it over to Army. But it's like it could have been a much easier process, right? So the mindset of onboarding because of the space and the newness to it should be, the everyone's first thought, and not condescending or talking down on someone when they don't know what the APY on a stake is, or how long an epoch is, or what happens. Why do you say 24 hours, but then you don't see it for whatever because of the block time is different. Like, people don't understand that, right? You have to learn it. It's not just something you can just generally know. So, I think as you mentioned, that the space from my perspective has always been really, really positive more than negative.
Yeah, and it's really great because as an investor myself, like my main thing with my investments is I want to invest in a project and then not just put my money in it, but like as much time as I can too, like spreading the word, getting other people interested and investing in it, because it's like that's how your investments will grow even more. And if you can bring people that are interacting with a project, it's going to keep development of that project going. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard to develop a project if you have no users. So, like word of mouth is a really powerful tool, and Harmony I feel has nailed that down. Like they're doing a really good job.
No,
But also,
absolutely.
yeah, but also with like Harmonyville, I'm super excited with all the possibilities of bringing all the Harmony projects together into one space.
Yeah,
And I think,
we just, not to cut you off, Shark. We haven't shared it yet. Shark just got done putting together a nasty promo for some marketing we're doing out in this Poland, out in Poland. Poland, there's this big dance event. Dex Laboratories. He can speak more, but we'll be able to share the video here shortly. It's gonna, if you're bullish on Harmonyville now, wait till you see what he cooked up.
oh shit.
Yeah, dude, it's fire, man. It's awesome. I really want to show it right now, but we're waiting for Dex to give us the go ahead. We don't know if he wanted that to be the first place that it was shown, so we're respecting that.
Oh, for sure, yeah, 100%. I mean, if it premieres there, that's even better in a way, you know? World premiere of this
Yes.
video, check out this amazing project. Like, we're already in, brother. You don't got to sell us.
No, I know.
Show it to them.
Just share the
Show it to
excitement.
other people. Oh man, I feel that though. Yeah, for sure. The excitement is awesome, but it's already so exciting. Like, there's so much potential with this project, and so much potential for the token itself. Like potential use cases that, like, I don't see it going bad. Like, knock on wood, anything can happen in this space, but like the tokenomics are super awesome. Like 70-30 maximum unlock for the next year, 70% locked, 30% unlocked, which is great. Year of block time, I will correct myself, just so people don't
Yeah,
come
that's
back
an
and
important
say,
one.
yeah, year of block time.
Your
That can
block time.
sometimes be a year and a half,
Yeah.
depending on what happens. But yeah, and then everybody I know that has Lambos has basically just been reinvesting in them because it's, why not?
Yeah.
Like, you can, they're like, in my eyes, it's basically like my own little money printer.
I mean, it
It
really is,
prints
and
them.
that was kind of the design mechanism behind it. There were a couple of thought processes. Obviously, like if you weren't here for uh, Viper Swap, that was like the first X on the chain, and
Mhm.
you as it progressed, you started to see. I think most people started to see there was no additional development plan. So once you hit that year unlock, what else with the token? Viper, nothing, right? So it just
Yeah,
goes down. And then you have Loot Swap, which ended up being just a massive rug. I'm not going to name other ones, but you from a DEX perspective, you run into the same problem every single time. There are these decentralized exchanges, which are wonderful, but you only can have so many without additional utility. So when you have a locking mechanism and you have high APRs or whatever, people are earning hundreds of thousands of tokens over the course of a year, it literally does zero good because by the time it gets unlocked, there's no liquidity, there's no value, there's no more utility. It's basically dead, right? And so ideally, you'd have an entire year to continue to develop, which some projects just maybe being so new or not looking at what happens when the token's unlocked, what's next. I don't know. So that was our biggest thing was a creating more than just a token, right? And that was Lampo, and making it valuable in itself, and then creating small little gamification within it. Initially, the earning, upgrading, the toolboxes, that kind of stuff, and then even more so because obviously having the games and the drag races and the missions, that's all really really good, you know. But there's going to be more people who don't necessarily want to own Lambo, who don't necessarily want to use that mechanism, right? So then you open up Harmonyville. an H field. That's why we didn't go with a speed token or a Lambo token. We went with an H field token because it was a much bigger, more ambitious project than just a very, very small AAA game, right? We wanted to be an open world. We want to be able to take the resources that we have and help new or existing projects that need an asset or a dev team or somebody who can build out 3D. So that way we've provided, as you said, even more utility to the HO. That's not just a deck swing. That's not just an earn management. That's not just an upgrade system. That's not just a token to enter missions. Not just a token to play games. It's really an entire ecosystem that we're building on chain, and then we can recruit others in that would be able to utilize that as well. So that was basically the main driving force behind the entire project, is making sure that when we do get to the unlocking and people start, taking their profits, whatever, which is all great and fine. You got to take profits. There's no point not to. But also having opportunities to use it other ways as well. So it's not just, okay, well, what now, right? Oh, well, I don't know, dead project.
Exactly. It's like a lot of these projects, I feel, like you said, don't think in that they have the short roadmap, but they don't have any sort of long-term plan for, okay, so how do we keep this viable past a year, 2 years,
Absolutely.
It seems like a lot of projects are just, I don't want to say this in a negative way, but it seems like they're built as a long-term rug, right? It's like,
yes,
they're inevitably going to end and the token is going to have no value because there's no utility. And it's like, why build a project? Like, I don't know. It just, in my eyes, it's like, you guys, you're looking at the big picture. You're seeing the entire chain as something that you can dig into and utilize. And it's awesome. And it's great to see, like, Harmonyville interacting with like Oneverse and all the people that were in the Twitter meetup the other night, and like all these projects that are trying to create their own metaverses that are going to link into each other. And it's like, there doesn't need to be one dominant metaverse on a chain.
No,
because
absolutely not.
There's so many people with so many diverse needs and wants that you can have a metaverse for this cross section of people. And this, it's like, we don't have one department store in the world. We have many department stores in the world for the exact same reason.
Yeah, and then it'll force people like us to innovate, so that way we are a little bit different, and there's use case, and there's reason to come play in our metaverse, and there's reason then to go over. I know Rocket Monster, they're building a big open world, right? But that's going to be way different looking than ours, and also with dingoes, right? Like, we provide assets to dingoes, and you can take the Lambo and put it over into their open world and drive around. Like, there should be integration across projects. I mean, that's really what makes the NFT contract, in my eyes, very, very valuable, in a sense of, you can't do that anywhere else. You can't take Mario and drop him in the Call of Duty, right? Like, you can't do that with the NFTs and ownership of it. You can take it and play with it wherever the other projects will allow. And I think that's what's really cool is you reduce entry point for a lot of people around the developing countries. You put an emphasis on blockchain gaming, Web3 gaming, and you're not trying to poach new gamer or current gamers that are already saturated into classic traditional gaming, right? Because it's a backward shift, but you can get them interested and they'll happily come in and play because they can see that they can earn. But I think more importantly, it's looking at the smaller markets, the developing countries that don't have the means to go out and spend $1,500, $2,000 to get set up to play a video game. These aren't video games, obviously. We're doing our best to make sure that what you play when you play Drag Race, when you see a circuit, when you do missions, it's video interactive. It's data being pulled from the metadata that's being displayed to you, so it feels really really kind of like cerebral in a sense of uh, you're getting those visual cues back, and it's authentic to you. But it's still going to have some limitations. We're not full blown game dev, so I think that's a really really interesting space, and the next 5 years are going to be really cool to continue to watch it grow, and particularly the top chains, the chains that are able to continue to fight through and not dip as much as BTC keeps going through its up and downs, their market cycles.
Yeah, for sure. And like that's the one thing I really see GameFi for, especially like you said, like yeah, we might get some like AAA Call of Duty gamers that they're looking to invest, and this is an easy way for them to do it because they know video games. But the big market, like you said, I think is the small people in like developing countries who, if they rent a Lambo for a day, are actually going to make something significant. Like they can supplement their actual income through GameFi, and I think that's really where this sector is going to shine once the technology takes off a little bit and gets kind of traction in the real world. Is people are going to notice, wait, I like, instead of giving money to a charity, I can find some person in a third world country, I can rent them some Lambos for a really good price because, they've probably already covered themselves by that point. And, they can make a few bucks US a day, which could be a life-changing amount of money to some people.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's really kind of the goal, right? Is making it accessible, and really, I think one of our biggest responsibilities is looking at onboarding and figuring out better ways to get new blood, new eyes into the space with as little limitations as possible. So instead of having to go to a centralized exchange and then to a decentralized exchange and then to swap, and then in the meantime you're setting up different wallets, like how can we help reduce some of those pain points that could really help with adoption in the near future?
Yeah, like 100%, because like right now you have the boomer population that's retiring that are not the greatest with technology and things of that nature, who are looking to invest as well, and having to set up your MetaMask, keep your seed phrase safe, and then on top of that set up a crypto.com account or whatever, and then DFK account, and then like all your separate accounts. It's very overwhelming for sure. Like I tried to get my parents into it the other week, and my dad was staring at me like I was speaking like Swahili. Like what is going, like what are these words you're saying to me? And I was like, oh man, okay. And then I finally realized, like I remembered, oh shit. DeFi Kingdoms put on their fiat on ramp, so you can just buy one that way, and we don't have to go through all this right now.
Yeah, right.
And so like those are the steps that I feel the GameFi industry needs to take, because like you said, like having to do all those steps can be very like disheartening almost. You're like, oh, did I do all this right? Is this transfer right? Like I remember the first time I sent a crypto transfer, I'm like, oh my God.
I still do that.
Oh, same here. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I lost this money. God,
Yeah,
this is gone.
yeah, it's. I mean, it can be very complicated. I don't know if you've ever tried bridging. Um, I bridged B&B into Harmony once, and that was fun. I mean, it was early. I think it was like one of the first weeks that it had released, and there were no videos. So I mean, I was basically just clicking and hoping for the best. I ultimately couldn't really figure it out. I got it over, and then it was I don't remember what happened, but I ended up sending it back, and I was like, forget. I ended up sending B&B back to Binance, and then I ended up just selling it and then swapping over into one, and just going over to uh, MetaMask via one from Binance. But golly, it was not easy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like some of the bridges, I'm just like, oh, okay. I think I might just transfer to a DEX, exchange it for what I need, and then send it to the right blockchain or whatever. Like.
Exactly.
But yeah, like recently though, I've seen some pretty sleek bridges coming out, which is nice,
Oh yeah.
making things a little easier. But so we back to more When Lambo stuff because that's what really stokes me up right now. So we just had marketplace release. Next is the missions, and so what kind of setup are you thinking for the first couple ones? Like, is it like I know we have races and circuits coming up later, so that's going to be the more kind of video intensive interactive part. So are the quests or missions going to be kind of the same, or are they going to be more like a static
Yeah,
type thing?
yeah. So their contracts are finished. We're waiting on UI and then also video cutscenes. So we're still trying to figure out as far as just the heaviness of the requests for visuals. So like if we can make it so it's not a whole bunch of extra weight on the servers to pull out specific 3D Lambos for a specific mission, or if you have a dingo, right? Like pull those things out and let you visually see a specific cutscene that was tailored to you. We're gonna do it. Probably will most likely be second or third phase of missions, but at the very minimal, you'll have visuals on each mission that you're partaking in. Most likely they'll be kind of stock, and they're still going to look really, really good. Make you feel more connected to what you're doing, so it doesn't just feel like a click and collect kind of a thing. So those are the goals there, and they're not far off. I mean, we're really just waiting on those couple items and contracts. The biggest things are done. Obviously, we'll have to test. Once we test, you know what we can. I mean, we could be delayed a day or two or three just because of a logic flow that comes up, or we finally see that hey, the way we deployed, just like with the marketplace, the way we deployed, it makes more sense to break it down into multiple contracts, and so sometimes it might have to be rewritten a little bit or rearranged. But for the most part, because they're fairly straightforward, meaning you need X and Y in some cases, or well, I guess in most cases you need an X and a Y, and then you're submitting to the contract essentially, basically like a stake or something, and then it takes place in the background. So the first one that's coming up is the car show, and the specifics will be doled out eventually. I think that at the very minimum, you're going to need a 2+ level on your wheels, and then most likely, since that's a requirement to buy toolboxes, there may or may not be a small entry fee, and that'll be mission specific. So as we continue to develop missions, depending on the payout, will more or less be dependent on the actual price to get in, whether it's free, 5H fill, 10H fill, or whatever. But it'll always be worth the return if you win it, right? If you make it on the other end and you've satisfied or whatever, and you got you're the one that was successful, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, for like missions, how are you guys? Like, I know Nothing is probably for sure right now, as you're still developing some things. But is it going to be like a cooldown per mission kind of thing, or Lambo can do a mission every certain amount of time?
Yeah, there'll be cooldowns. I mean, it really only makes sense to have some slowdowns in between. I mean, a lot of people have more than one Lambo, so you're basically just going to end up cycling through. And
Yeah.
in our opinion, one thing I think is kind of interesting and neat is over the last 2 months that we've been on NFT Key, is there's really been a very small percentage of Lambo's first sale, and so I think it's a testament to the community believing in us, and just really how well defined everything has come together so far. And so that may help drive up the floor price a little bit, because if there's a cooldown and you're like, oh, I can go grab a second Lambo while the prices are still low, so you go grab a second Lambo. So we hope that everything we do finds an equilibrium or a balance within the marketplace naturally, so that way it's kind of like a synergistic flow between holders, sellers, profit takers. We're always kind of looking at that how all those pieces fit together.
Yeah, trying to balance them all in a nice little
Right, exactly.
mechanism. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I like that idea. Like I've seen games go both ways. Like sometimes they do, you can do this mission once a day, for example. But I like the per Lambo, like you can do your Lambo cools off, if you will.
Yes.
You gotta take that back to the garage and polish her up, refuel her, and tune her up so she's running all sleek for the next one.
Oh yeah.
Can't just be running your Lambo into the ground.
No, it turned into a beater. We don't drive beaters here.
No, this is baller country. This is
Mm-hmm.
Lambo baller country. So yeah, so we covered missions. Now, the one thing I know a lot of people are excited for is the whole circuits and drag racing aspect. So I know circuits are going to be multiple people, and drags are going to be just basically two racers.
We also got a four-way.
Four-way drag?
Yeah. So
Nice.
we'll have P versus P, and then or a 1 versus 1, and then we'll always have it to one, for a free for all, four total. So that's going to be really fun, and those will be more visually simulated. So your exact Lambo that you're racing will be the one shown in the scenes of the videos of them coming across, starting from the finish line, going all the way across. So you'll be able to watch it play out, and then they'll obviously be able to be replayed, and so you can visually see, how you performed.
Mm-hmm.
And then same with circuits.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Not as that'll be very very similar to circuits.
Okay.
Yep.
So I know a lot of people in the Discord server who own Lambos happen to be fond of gambling. Now, is that something that is going to be integrated into the UI? Do you think?
I don't think so, because it causes too many nightmares in obviously America here for us. As far as gambling goes. Now, we're always looking at it. If they're all three of us are here in Florida, if there are specific legal rights to online gambling that we can look at and add it to the UI down the road, then yeah, absolutely we will. But for the meantime, it'll most likely have to be run through a third party or something like what's the one that just came out recently with the gambling? Fuzz.fi. So we could always integrate, partner up with them, make sure that there's a link click through over to their space that you can have gambling on. We can even bring them into the marketplace. We could even bring them into Harmonyville and have them set up a bookie or whatever. But those are options, and that's kind of the vision that we have for Harmonyville is where is there a need that we might not be able to fulfill because of legality reasons, And is there somebody that's currently doing that? And then that would make a really good partnership.
Nice. Yeah. See, that's the one question I had. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know it's crypto, so I don't know how that really works legally. Like, I'm guessing like with gambling sites, it's like they're just restricted in certain areas
Yeah, I
if it
mean,
was a
I'd rather
thing.
not be known as a racketeer and have the whole
Yeah.
SWAT coming down on me. I mean, we're obviously in a gray area as far as just the crypto space in general. So we try to make sure we stay within um, legal boundaries. And everything that we do seek counsel, right? So everything that we've
Yeah.
done up to this point, we've spoken with multiple lawyers that have expertise in different areas, and it's a really weird space because there are no regulations, and there is very minimal definitions of what anything really is. So we just make sure that we try to stay within a reasonable, logical guidelines, so that way
Yeah.
if new regulations start coming down, we can at least figure out where we stand because they should logically, and I can't always say for certain, but should be within line, right? So gambling, we know how important that is, but that's a stronghold here in the United States.
Also, same up here in Canada.
Yeah.
The government keeps a
Yep.
tight
Exactly.
control on that so they can make their money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not a big gambler myself. I just know that question would probably be asked
Oh
sometime in the
yeah.
future.
I'm a
So
big gambler. I know Mick won. I don't think Shark's too big, but we like throwing money around.
yeah, I know a lot of people in the crypto space do. It's a big. I mean, crypto itself is a gamble, so
Absolutely.
I guess I like gambling as well. I don't know. Just not. I don't like in my face gambling. I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so the project, it's only been around for like it launched in
End of January, beginning of February.
yeah, I was gonna say January,
Mm-hmm.
but it's come a long way in that time, and the Discord is one of the funnest places I've ever been. There's gonna be links down below to join the Discord if you want to come and chat with anybody from the team or even us who just
Yeah,
chilling there
we
all
started
the
running
time.
the Marble Run tournaments. They just started this
Yeah,
week, so they're going to get better and funner and bigger.
I think they're fun. It's a great way to just get people involved, get people talking.
Yep.
Yeah, so anybody who doesn't know, the marble runs are basically just held in the Discord server. You participate by just talking and having meaningful interactions with other people in the server. And every time you level up, you get a form to fill out, and then you get a marble. Sundays we do Sundays depending on how things are going. Lives are crazy. They do a little marble run, and at the end of the month, there's a champions run for some prizes. And
Yep.
who doesn't want a free toolbox or some free Hville?
Absolutely. Easy peasy.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to join, like I said, there's the Discord link below. Anybody who wants to get a Lambo, there's the link to the app.wenlambo.one website where you can purchase yourself a Lambo with some Hville and join our awesome crew. And then there's also a link down there to the Harmonyville website and the When Lambo website, so you guys can get all the information you need and join the ranks.
Yeah, and
Have
then
a
and then let's throw the link for the Marble Run sign up, so anybody who ends up listening can get a free entry this week coming up.
sweet. Yeah, I'll throw the link down below. Well, thanks for stopping by and chatting.
Yeah, it was awesome. I appreciate you having me.
I really appreciate it. I like doing this thing, helping spread the good word of the Lambo and the Harmonyville.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
It keeps me out of trouble.
Good, good. That's important.
But yeah, thanks a lot for coming on. I'm gonna post this episode up.
Cool.
You guys can all watch it, and you'll know that it's up because you'll be listening to it. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, this was Bourbin from Harmonyville joining us, talking some great stuff about the project. And thanks for coming on again, man.
Yeah, cheers. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Everybody have a great day, night, afternoon, morning, whatever it happens to be in your wonderful time zone. And I'll catch you later. This has been Ragweed Rasta on the unofficial Harmonyville podcast.
Later, y'all.